Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Primrose ZJ Bima. I am a 29-year-old postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. I completed a PhD in political studies, and my previous qualifications include a Master of Social Science degree in International Relations, Bachelor of Social Science honors in Gender and Transformation, and a General Bachelor of Social Science degree in which I majored in International Relations, Public Policy and Administration, as well as gender studies. Such a mouthful. You can rewind if you want to get that again. So, in this video, I just want to reflect on the question, was my PhD worth it? Some of you who may know me understand that I've always wanted a PhD since I was like age 15. And initially, I thought that I was going to have a PhD in literature because I knew that I loved writing and I wanted a doctorate, even though I didn't even know that you had to get like so many more degrees before you actually get, this doctorate degree. So in terms of fulfilling my childhood dreams, definitely it was worth it. And it was also worth it because I didn't have to work for my fees in terms of like taking it out of my salary or in terms of taking out a loan and whatnot. So my tuition was funded by the University of Cape Town's postgraduate funding office. So in terms of finances, as well as in terms of fulfilling my childhood dreams, this PhD was definitely worth it. Now, when we come to speak about my passion for research, I developed a passion for research towards the end of my undergraduate studies. And because I am interested in international relations, diplomacy, conflict resolution, I decided that it was best for me to, sharpen my skills in terms of research in this area. When I did a course on peace building issues and problems during my master's, studies, I knew that I needed to be in this field. So I'm in addition to women, peace and security on the research side, obviously, and hopefully I will soon become an academic. So my PhD paid off in terms of me gaining research excellence in what I perceive to be my niche areas. And then it also helped me to work with the best. My supervisor, I believe, is probably the best on the continent when we speak about people that have done research and teaching on matters relating to Africa, relating to the African Union, as well as relating to mediation of conflicts within the Southern African region. So I was definitely in the best hands to conduct the PhD research that I did. So based on that, also my PhD was worth it. And then when it comes to positioning myself for greater heights, I know it's difficult to tell at this early stage whether my PhD is going to be useful. So, for example, if I land a job in an area where I didn't even need to have a PhD, many people will be like, but you didn't need a PhD though. However, my answer is that this PhD was worth it because I want to be a thought leader. And as an intellectual, I believe that undertaking a PhD is one of the most challenging endeavors that one ought to go through. However, it is not the point where you say you've stopped because just because it's the highest degree attainable in academia does not mean you have become the expert of experts. If anything, I'm literally an infant. So I understand that I have positioned myself for greater heights and I have developed resilience and I have developed research skills. And I now know how to manage myself as a researcher and as an intellectual. And also, I believe I now have the capacity to engage with, intellectuals in my field as well as in other fields as well. There's respect that comes with a PhD. I don't know to what extent that kind of respect will come at this early stage, but I know that I've positioned myself for greater heights. Now, I want to be an academic. I believe I love teaching a lot, and coming back to do my PhD exposed me to teaching opportunities. So I'm more than grateful to myself for making the decision to come back to university to pursue my PhD. And then, in terms of what the PhD didn't quite do for me, I don't know if I can blame coronavirus because doing a PhD during the pandemic meant that I didn't go to conferences or events where I could engage with a lot of people. So I didn't get much of the networking experience that I was hoping to gain from doing a PhD. And then also, I didn't necessarily belong to a strong research community during my studies. It was mostly a lonely journey. And the biggest contributor in terms of academic exchange was actually my supervisor. So I didn't get much from this. I suspect that if I was working as a researcher, let's say, for example, in an Institute for Security Studies or the United Nations, I could definitely have done more in terms of engaging with experts from different fields. My interviews for my research helped me, but obviously, my research interview questions were what my discussions were based on. So, my discussions with key informants were, of course, limited to the scope of my research. So I did very little of networking, and I didn't grow professionally when we speak about working on professional projects. I was mostly pursuing my PhD studies, my PhD topic. And then I think I now suck at writing. I spent a long time researching and writing on the same thing, on the same case studies. Writing about something new has been so difficult. And also, I don't want to write on the stuff that I was writing on in my thesis. So I don't even know if I should call it a writer's block, but I've had this writing challenge for the past 3 to 4 months. And it's pushing me back because I need to publish. Otherwise, I'll perish. I hate academia for that, for this publish or perish culture. So as a postdoctoral research fellow, I've been feeling stuck for most of the time because I don't know how to research on other things. And also I don't want to continue doing research on the particular context I was looking at because of course, it drained me. And also I need to do new things. So yeah. And then in terms of would I have done anything differently? I don't think so. So because I'm a foreign national in South Africa, I couldn't necessarily secure working opportunities which my peers secured after masters or honors or undergraduate studies. So, moving on within the academic space was actually the main, if not the only option. I was working in diplomacy in my home country in Zimbabwe. However, I would not have attained the quality of supervision that I got at the University of Cape Town, as well as the funding. If I had decided to pursue my studies back home, I would probably have taken 10 years to complete my studies because I don't know how it happens with universities back home. People tend to just take longer. So I wouldn't have done anything differently in terms of, choice of institution. I would have really loved to study abroad. So that's one thing I would have done differently. However, most of my applications to study abroad require me to first do a master's and then, be elevated to PhD level. I felt like I didn't have the time. Also, I had the struggle with finding, sources of funding for my studies. I think because of my topic, which is focused on Southern Africa. So really, even though I would have done something differently in terms of studying abroad, I don't think I would have done anything differently in terms of my choice of supervisor and the institution that I ended up, studying at, which is the University of Cape Town. Now, where am I going with this PhD? I believe I have a calling for academia, but I'm applying for research work in different, environments, be it think tanks, be it in, risk consulting, be it working with United Nations affiliated organizations. I'm not too keen on joining, the government / public sector, simply because I've been there, done that, and I'm seeking, fresh challenges from, a new field, a new space. And I do think that I have more to gain by doing research as an academic because I get to publish with my name on my articles with recognition. And also I get to, use my research into when I teach. So I'm gunning for academia mostly anywhere in the world. Research positions also anywhere in the world. I'm not looking to settle in any one space at the moment. For those of you who know me, I grew up in Zimbabwe, and in Zimbabwe alone, I stayed in Bulawayo, the city of my birth. I also lived in Harare, and I studied in Masvingo for 4 years. After that, I moved on to Lesotho, where I lived for about 3 years before eventually coming to the University of Cape Town in South Africa. So I've been quite nomadic in my life, and I don't think I've arrived at a place where I'm like, this is it. This is it. I mean, if I get a job in Cape Town, I love the city. I'll definitely look into settling here. However, that's not, the short to medium term goal. The goal is to gain as much experience as I can, as much as I can in terms of exposure as well. So I'm open to so many things. The biggest worry I have is like PhD by 30. I think it's overglorified. What am I going to do with the next 50 plus years of my life, for example, if I'm going to be leaving up to the age of 80? I'll probably study towards a qualification in actuarial science, probably because that's something I've always had an interest in. Yeah, but there's so much more to do, and I feel like I've lifted a whole burden of my future self. So, I can do so many more things in business. I can do so many more things academically as professionally. So really, in as much as it sucks to have a PhD by 30, I feel like it's also a big plus. That's all I have to say today. Tell me what you think about this, presentation and the points that I raised. If you've got any questions, feel free to, jot them down in the comments section below. If not, you can always email me at pzjbeamer@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this one. If you've not subscribed, please do so as soon as possible. Invite other people also to this channel. And also, I hope that you're looking forward to my PhD graduation vlogs, which I'll be posting during the course of the month of December 2021. Bye.